Comfort feels harmless. It feels like stability, like balance, like peace. When you're comfortable, nothing seems wrong. Your routine works. Your stress is low. Your environment is predictable. And your brain interprets that predictability as safety. But here's the problem. Your brain is designed for survival, not growth. It prefers familiarity over uncertainty, ease over challenge, stability over expansion. That's why stepping into something new feels uncomfortable, even when it's good for you. In this video, we're going to break down why comfort feels safe, how it slowly limits your potential, and why the very thing that protects you in the short term can quietly weaken you in the long term. Because growth doesn't happen where you feel safe. It happens where you feel stretched. The comfort trap. Comfort feels good. It feels stable. It feels safe. When you are comfortable, there is no immediate stress, no urgent pressure, no visible danger. Your routine works. Your environment is familiar. You know what to expect tomorrow. From a biological perspective, this feels like success. Your brain interprets predictability as safety. Human beings evolved to seek safety. For most of history, survival depended on avoiding threats. If you found shelter, food, and a stable group, staying within that zone increased your chances of survival. So your brain developed a strong preference for familiarity. Familiar equals safe. Safe equals good. But here is the problem. Survival and growth are not the same thing. What helped you survive in ancient environments can limit your development in modern ones. In today's world, growth often requires uncertainty, learning new skills, taking calculated risks, facing discomfort, and challenging current abilities. Comfort becomes a trap when it prevents progress. You may feel secure in your routine, but if that routine does not stretch your capacity, you slowly stagnate. There is no visible collapse. Nothing dramatic happens, but quietly, your potential remains unused. In this video, we will explore why comfort feels safe, why your brain prefers it, and how staying in it too long can silently destroy growth. Why your brain prefers comfort. To understand why comfort feels so attractive, we need to understand how the brain works. The brain's primary function is not success, wealth, or achievement. Its primary function is survival. It constantly scans for threats and tries to minimize risk. Anything unfamiliar is treated with caution. When you step into something new, a new skill, a new responsibility, a new environment, your brain detects uncertainty. Uncertainty increases stress hormones because the outcome is unpredictable. Even if the risk is small, your brain reacts as if caution is necessary. This reaction creates discomfort. Comfort, on the other hand, reduces uncertainty. Familiar routines require less mental energy. Predictable environments feel controllable. When something is predictable, the brain relaxes. It conserves energy. That feeling of relaxation is interpreted as safety. The problem is that growth always includes uncertainty. If your brain's natural preference is to avoid uncertainty, then you must consciously override that instinct to grow. Without awareness, you will automatically choose the comfortable option, not because it is better, but because your biology pushes you toward safety over expansion. The illusion of stability. Comfort creates the illusion that things will remain the same. When your life feels stable, you assume tomorrow will look like today. This illusion reduces anxiety. It gives you a sense of control. But in reality, the world is constantly changing, whether you grow or not. Skills become outdated. Industries evolve. Technology advances. Opportunities shift. If you stay in one place too long without upgrading yourself, the environment may move forward while you remain still. From your perspective, nothing feels wrong. But externally, you are slowly becoming less adaptable. Stability is not permanent. It is temporary. The comfort you feel today can disappear if external conditions change. If you have not grown beyond your current level, you may struggle when forced out of your comfort zone suddenly. Growth prepares you for change before change becomes unavoidable. Comfort feels safe because it is predictable. But predictability does not guarantee long-term security. In fact, over-reliance on comfort can make you fragile. True stability comes not from staying the same, but from increasing your capacity to handle uncertainty. Growth builds resilience. Comfort builds dependence. Growth requires friction. Every form of growth includes friction. When you build muscle, you stress the muscle fibers. When you learn a new skill, you experience confusion. When you improve communication, you face awkward conversations. Friction is not a sign that something is wrong. It is a signal that adaptation is happening. Comfort removes friction. That is why it feels pleasant. There is no strain, no immediate resistance. But without resistance, there is no adaptation. The body grows stronger when challenged. The mind grows sharper when stretched. Without tension, improvement stalls. Think about learning something difficult. At first, it feels slow and frustrating. Your brain struggles to connect new information. But that struggle is the rewiring process. Neural pathways strengthen through effort. If you avoid the discomfort of learning, you also avoid the development of ability. Friction is uncomfortable but productive. Comfort is pleasant but neutral. If you consistently choose what feels easy, you minimize friction, and therefore minimize growth. The key is understanding that discomfort is not an enemy. It is often the cost of expansion. Without it, your potential remains static. The slow decline of staying comfortable. The danger of comfort is not immediate failure. It is slow decline. When you stay within familiar limits for too long, you stop stretching your abilities. At first, nothing seems wrong. Your routine works. Your responsibilities feel manageable, but gradually, your capacity stops expanding. Skills that are not improved begin to weaken relative to the environment. Others who push themselves grow faster. New standards emerge. Expectations rise. If you remain at the same level while the world advances, you effectively fall behind, even though you never felt a dramatic drop. This decline is subtle. It does not feel like losing. It feels like maintaining, but maintenance without growth becomes stagnation. Over years, stagnation turns into regret. You may look back and realize that comfort prevented you from exploring your full potential. Comfort rarely destroys growth in a dramatic way. It does so quietly. It keeps you just satisfied enough to avoid change. It provides short-term ease at the cost of long-term development. And because the decline is gradual, it is easy to ignore, until the gap between who you are and who you could have been becomes obvious. Fear disguised as comfort. Often, what we call comfort is actually fear in disguise. We say we prefer stability. We say we are satisfied where we are. But sometimes the deeper reason is fear of failure, rejection, or uncertainty. Comfort becomes a socially acceptable explanation for avoiding risk. When you consider taking a new step, starting a project, changing careers, learning a demanding skill, your mind quickly lists possible negative outcomes. What if you fail? What if you embarrass yourself? What if you waste time? To avoid those uncomfortable possibilities, you retreat to what feels safe. The brain then rationalizes this decision. It tells you that you are being practical, that you are waiting for the right time, that you are content. These justifications reduce cognitive discomfort. But beneath them, the real driver may be fear of stepping into the unknown. Recognizing this pattern is important. Comfort itself is not the enemy. But when comfort becomes a shield against growth, it limits you. Growth requires exposure to uncertainty. Fear tries to keep you protected. If you cannot distinguish between true stability and avoidance behavior, you may mistake hesitation for wisdom, and remain stuck without realizing why. The comfort zone expands only when you leave it. Many people misunderstand the idea of a comfort zone. They think it is a fixed boundary, a line you either stay inside or step outside. But the comfort zone is flexible. It expands when you challenge it. What feels uncomfortable today can become normal tomorrow. Think about public speaking. The first time you speak in front of an audience, your heart races. Your voice may shake. It feels extremely uncomfortable. But if you repeat the experience multiple times, the stress response decreases. Your brain updates its threat assessment. What was once scary becomes manageable. This principle applies to every skill. The first time you try something new, it feels difficult. If you retreat immediately, your comfort zone stays small. But if you tolerate the discomfort and continue, the boundary moves outward. Growth occurs not by avoiding discomfort, but by gradually increasing your tolerance for it. The key insight is this: Staying comfortable keeps your comfort zone small. Stepping into discomfort expands it. Over time, people who regularly challenge themselves develop a wider range of what feels normal. That expanded range gives them more opportunities, more resilience, and more confidence. Growth is not about eliminating fear. It is about repeatedly stepping slightly beyond it.